everyone, welcome back to another how to draw video. Today's subject is Bluey from that show you guys all know. I also have a blue healer. His name is Vash, as you can see in this picture. Look how cute he is. Anyway, getting back to drawing, I have my reference photo here of Bluey on my canvas already, digital canvas that is. And I'm making my layers, going ahead and making her a little transparent so I can show you guys the basic shapes that make Bluey up. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this after finding the brushes that I want to use, or the brush sizes rather. So now I am going to go ahead and draw the first shape, which the main shape is Bluey's body. She is about a rectangular shape that has kind of rounded edges. She has these triangular ears at the top here. We have rectangles for arms on both sides, as well as circles for hands. Pretty typical on most characters. We have rectangles again, rectangles, not rectangulars, for her legs, little ovals for her feet, and that little wisp of a tail at the end, and round, straight-ish eyes. So here's the basic shapes. If you guys want, you can add that nose in there. If you have a drawing reference out printed, or as if you're doing it digitally like me, always feel free to add more detail. It helps you draw the character a little easier as you get going. All right, so now we're going to be jumping into doing the sketch. So I've made my other sketch layer here. I'm just getting my brush to be a little smaller. As you guys know, I like to make everything tiny for my sketching. So here I go with my rounded rectangular body, as we discussed earlier. And we have her little pointed ears coming out the top. And then we do the next part, which is the arms. I'm doing the basic shapes, and then I'll get into the interior in more detail as usual. So rectangle arms, circle hands, rectangle legs. And keep going here. Again, little ovals for feet. Sorry, it's like I'm talking to my own dog. Feet. And going ahead and we're going to do a little bit of editing on this body. It's a little too wide for my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and change that a little bit. Again, remember guys, we have erasers, Control-Z. It's just something that happens in art. Nothing's going to be perfect when you first put those lines down, unless you're some kind of perfect artist, which I don't think exists. Anyway, getting back to this, we did her tail. Now we're on to her eyes. Doing her nose first, and her little bit of her snout, which turns into her smile. So giving her some pupils. I like to kind of fill in parts that I know are black or dark, just to give them some contrast from the sketch so I can see them a little better, and it helps me kind of visualize what the end piece is going to look like. So we've done that, and working out this sketch line, just kind of taking a look and seeing. I'm going to edit the arms a little bit. The body's still, I guess the body's fine, but I'm going to move her arms down just a little bit. I did draw them a little bit too high. I think they are still a little bit too high, given I didn't draw her body as long as the reference image. But again, these are quick sketches. I don't think anyone would watch me do a video for 30 minutes to perfect the line work on my pieces, but you never know. Anyway, now we have everything done. We did little circles for her fingers. This character has four fingers, as typical cartoon characters do, at least in anything basically than anime, I would say, for the most part. And now we're going to get into doing our line work. So I did my other layer. I locked my layer below that, which is my sketch layer. And I grab the right size of brush, so I can again show you a very quick line work on this, so you can see the end product of what your character should look like. So here I'm doing the ears, doing the body, going up there and making that entire circle. Then doing some ear, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna do her eyebrows first actually, because I was drawing over things, so I wanted to do that a little better and less going back and forth with the erasing. So do her body, and we have body shape, the ears. I'm gonna do the arms. You can see me, I did the circles for the fingers, but I'm not actually gonna make them circles. They're just gonna be little nubs that are coming out on each side for her fingers and thumb. And again, they're not exact, but they're a quick little rendition of our reference image. Here's our rectangular legs that come in a little bit from that rectangle body. I usually do feet like this on dogs, but it's such a habit. I actually need to do this as a oval like we were talking about earlier. I make it very simple, bring in her toes like that. Oops, not that big, a little smaller. And we got her toes in there. And now we'll go into her mouth and her nose. Her nose is a little small, so I'll be adjusting it just a little bit during this. But we're going to just get the basic shape and then build up. And here's her first eye and her pupil. And then, whoops, okay, that's a little off. Should try that again. Do this a little better. Rounded, more rounded. There we go. And we'll go ahead and do the other one. That one's hiding behind the nose, so the line of the eye will not go past the snout. As you guys can see, you want to make sure that you're following your lines and not overlapping things. We got our second eye done there. So I got our basic shape done of her body. And now we are going to fix her mouth a little bit. It was a little too round. I was following the basic rounded shape I did on the original reference when we were breaking down the images, or the shapes in the image rather. All right, so we got this done. And now I need to do her little floof tail at the end there. Healers do have very floofy tails. I know that from experience, as you guys saw in my earlier photo of Vash. Okay, getting into some fixing of this body on the side. I'm not usually this much of a perfectionist when I'm trying to just show a quick drawing, but I like to just change it a little bit if I see something that's pretty off. All right, so now all I'm gonna do is add some black outline. Did not do this in my last video with Ickis. He doesn't really have a lot of hard colors on him, at least nothing that has a pattern like Bluey does. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some basic black shapes, so around her eyes, as you guys can see here. So I'll do both of those eyes. Kind of looks like a raccoon right now, given we don't have the rest of the colors right now, but that's okay. Do a little bit of on the end of her tail, and we'll get into the next part, which will be these little spots right here. And then last but not least, we have her ears. So she kind of looks a little more realistic, given that blue healers are black, black and white, with sometimes they have tan ends of their bodies. That is a pretty true statement and coloring for both Bluey and real blue healers. So now we have our finished image. So you can see pretty close to what we were going for, and that's pretty much it. I also just want to show you guys really quick what it looks like without that sketch layer underneath, which I did not do in my last drawing. But it is good to see kind of the finished product without that busyness behind you. Okay, so that is the end of our video today. Thank you guys for joining me again, and please like and subscribe. Bye.